Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real metaphysical and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. This week, we're going to be discussing a quick and easy spell working that anyone can do anytime, any place, anywhere to boost health. Now, one of the reasons I want to do this one now, we're just coming off the holidays. Most people spent the whole holidays around their family. Family likes to get together, hug on you, and you're around each other. You're cooped up in a house, you're sharing food, whether you're feeling well or not. Now, hopefully, your family handles it better than mine, because I still have trauma and memories of my grandfather. We'd go over there for Thanksgiving or Christmas, walk in the door, and you're hit with a big cloud of Lysol because he didn't want to get sick. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a big believer in don't spray people in the face with Lysol. However, what if we could get a similar effect from Magick to help boost that? Okay. And especially if you got little ones, they're getting ready to go back to school. That means anything your family had, they're taking it with them. Anything all the other kids' family had, they're bringing home with them, right? So, yeah, anything you can do to increase your odds of not having to deal with illness running rampant through the house. Because I remember growing up, basically it got passed around the house before it was gone. And though me and the wife don't have any little ones, it is the case where everyone I know, one of the kids gets sick, it just goes around the household, right? So I wanted to share this to show a concept that is very, very easy and useful, and one that I don't know if I've talked about it in the past, but we're going to go and we're going to use a little bit of rune magic here. We are doing this live in the community. We got a few people in here sitting and watching live. I will be doing a community chat after the recording. So if you guys are here, write down any questions. We will take them afterwards and we can continue the conversation. If you're interested in joining us live for these topics, instead of waiting for them on YouTube or Rumble, check us out at the Working Dragon Mystic community. You should find links below or at workingdragonmystic.com. All right, let's get into this. So we're going to do a rune spell, a very simple rune spell. And we are going to use Uruz. For those who don't know, this is Uruz. It is a very simple looking rune. Okay. This time I remembered to bring it with me. Now, the word Uruz translates into aurochs, which is kind of like a stag, a deer. I believe they're technically extinct now, but it also means water. Okay. And that's actually important because if you ever read the runic poems, it definitely references water a lot. And water is one of those elements of health, elements of life. Many cultures actually consider water the element of life, right? And Uruz, in its meanings, does carry vitality and health. Those are two that it is very well known for, which makes sense why we'd want to use it for this. However, many rune workers over the years have also stated it to be health, healing, and maintenance of good health. Okay, so that's a really cool thing. And also total health. So, if you're not sick, you can do this to prevent getting sick. This is the exact time of year where I would say preventative stuff is a good time of the year to do it, because right now we're just into New Year's, right? And if you are sick, this can speed your recovery. All right. Now, we're going to walk through this real simple. I have here a cup of coffee. Of course I do. Always got coffee, right? All you need to do for this, okay? There's a few ways you can do it. Now you could take your rune, you could put it on a post-it note like I got it here. And now I can't get it off the freaking page. There we go. And you could put it on your little cup and everything. I've heard people do this, right? You could do that. And you could do the whole spell working. I'm not a fan of this. If you do a spell working where you have taped or put something on your cup to represent and hold the energy to the cup or the beverage, right? If for any reason something happens that damages this paper, coffee dribbles down, it damages it, or the post-it note just falls off, that can essentially undo your working. I don't like that. Now, if you need a visual, I get it. Some people do. But I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not a fan of that personally. This is one where I truly believe etherical etching is best. And all that is where you literally focus energy and you would draw the rune on the cup here. You could do that. I prefer to actually draw the rune over the liquid after I pour it in there. So that's what I will be doing here. And then the whole time I'm goldering it, I will hold my hands over it. And I like to actually hold my hands so I kind of got like a little window here over the cup. And I will also visualize the rune in the liquid while doing that, right? You could do the same thing with a water bottle too. If you got a water bottle, you could just do the side of the water bottle. You could open the water bottle if you wanted. It's not overly required. You can do this with any beverage. Um, I will say that water-based beverages do seem to work best. Okay, so you want to try and go with something that is mostly water. Um, in fact, as much as I love coffee, and I do use this one on coffee a lot, pure water has in the past given me the best results, hands down. Okay, even water with just a little lemon juice if you can't handle just pure water flavor. So the closer to pure water you are, the better. Now, if you put anything in the water that is going to be harmful to the body, like, I don't know, let's say alcohol, right? Because we know that like wines are, you know, 15, 20% alcohol, something like that, depending on how strong your wines are. Some of them's down to 8. Technically, that's a low percentage. The rest of it should be sugars and waters and other things, but the alcohol isn't technically good for the body. It's still technically a poison. Your body will recognize it as a poison. So you want to stay away from things like that. All right. All right. So all you need to do for this spell, and the reason I love this is perfectly safe for adults and children. Now, if your kids are being metaphysically inclined, you could teach them this. It's not hard. But this is also safe enough where I could say you could do this and hand it to them. Okay. And it's as simple as anything else. Like I said, we are going to take and I'm going to focus on urus. I'm going to focus on that healing and vitality. And I'm going to see my hand as I trace that urus rune right over the liquid. You can even stick your finger in the liquid and trace it in there if you want. And I want to keep that visualization of the urus in there. And I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to push with every breath out ether into that. But as I breathe out, I'm also going to be intoning urus. So you're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, you're pushing that ether into the beverage with the intonation like this. And I'm going to do a full one here because this ain't a long spell. So we got plenty of time to do this nice and easy, right? That is it. Now, for those who are still watching and actually listening through all that, you may have noticed I did that 9 times. We are using Norse runes. A number 9 is an extremely powerful number within Norse mythology. So matching your Golders with that 9 is helpful. Now, for those of you who say, I often lose count, is that a problem? It's really not. Just try to get as close as you can or cheat. Remember, I said I like to do this and hold it over so I got the window to visualize through? Well, this has another benefit. I can literally go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've now worked up to 6. And then I can literally just count 1 over here again, 1 over here again. I'm at 8. And then once I've done that, I hit that final 1. I literally can use this hand posture to keep from losing count because I'm with you, I lose count all the time. Now, once that's done, this beverage is good to go. You need to drink it though. Drink this beverage today, okay? If you're one of those people who you can get a bottle of water like this and keep it by your sofa or in your car for 2-3 days or whatever it may be, that's probably not going to work. It will bleed the energy. So whatever beverage you're making, you need to make sure that you are drinking within a reasonable amount of time. In all honesty, I would say within 2 hours. Try to drink the beverage within 2 hours. That's not too much to ask. Now, granted, if you do this to a gallon of water, the gallon of water can be a lot for some people to drink. Now, if you chug beverages the way I do, a gallon of water is not that hard. But at the same time, my wife, I'm not sure she could drink a gallon of water in a day. That would be an interesting, like she drinks things really, really slowly. I could see this lasting her most of the day, if not all day and a little more. She's just not a huge beverage drinker, and especially water. Like getting her to drink water is extremely difficult. Um, so something like this, which I want to say this is 12 ounces. Yeah, it is because I actually used a curd to make this coffee, so I know it's 12 ounces, and it's good coffee. So this cup's 12 ounces. To someone who can chug 2 liters like they're going out of style, I'm Gen X. I grew up killing a 2 liter for a couple dollars to win a bet, not an issue. 12 ounces is a shot glass to me. I can, that's no issue. To other people, they may want to sip it slower. Now, I use coffee. I also use teas, green teas, herbal teas. I love oolong. Tea is a great one to use. In fact, I thought about using tea for this particular spell. I even put that in my notes. So tea is absolutely a good one. I use teas for this all the time. And you can even double it up, right? So let's say you are trying to get to rest. You want to get some good solid sleep for that healing, because we do a lot of our healing while we're asleep, right? You could get some mint tea or some chamomile tea, and you could do the same spell, and that's going to help you. The chamomile is going to help you get into that sleepy state, and it's also going to help you to heal while you are sleeping, increase and boost that as well, assuming you're already sick. If you wanted to do this every night, if let's say you drink chamomile to go to bed, you could do this every night to keep your immune system strong. Make sure if and when your kids bring something home, or if and when you get it at work, let's be honest, it's not always the kids' fault. People, we go to work, we're around people at work, so we can bring it home too. We like to blame the kids, but it can be our fault too. Just don't tell them. So you could definitely do that easily enough. Me, I do try to do it at least once a day this time of year. And I will do one beverage. For me, my morning coffee, I don't do it. My morning coffee is already set aside for other things. And, I have my morning ritual. I don't want to tie this into it. So if I'm doing something to boost my health, I don't want to add it on to my already morning routine. What I like to do personally is I will switch over from coffee most of the time, or at least at lunch. I don't have coffee with my lunch. I have either water or I will have a strong tea. So at lunch is usually when I will do this for me. And I just make it that routine. Just like when you go prep your lunch, while I'm prepping my lunch, I also prep my beverage in the same exact way. If you wanted to take another step to it, you could actually, especially for carnivores. If you like butter in your coffee or tea, you could actually take a toothpick and carve urus into the butter and do the same thing. Empower the butter as you throw that into the beverage. You could also do that with a sugar cube, I suppose. Those sugar cubes are considerably harder to carve. You could potentially, like let's say you have, I know some people like to have some kind of a cookie or something with their lunch. You could potentially do that as well. Have the cookie with your tea. You could kind of pair that up. Um, I've even seen people who the best they could do was draw the rune urus on their double cheeseburger at McDonald's and intone it into their cheeseburger because that's the best they could do. And that was fine. I do know one individual. I think he would get a Gatorade every day at lunch. That's all he'd have was a Gatorade. And I think he got it at McDonald's or Burger King or something like that. He would intone it the same way. So you don't need a fancy cup. I just use this because I like metal cups. It's quasi insulated, big base, hard for me to knock over at my desk. But you could, this is extremely versatile. You could do this any place, anywhere. Now, the intoning, some of you here might be a little new and be wondering what I mean by intoning. Obviously, I demonstrated it. Do you have to replicate my tone perfectly? No. When you intone, what you are shooting for, deep breath, and then as you say it in a rhythmic tone, you want to try and hit a tone where you want to feel your chest vibrate at the very minimum. You want to feel it here. You want to feel you vibrating within your breastbone here. And that vibration will go through the rest of your bones over time. But you want to do it and practice it so that you can intone it, carry it out without your vocals cracking, right? Not gonna lie, mine, sometimes I hit a perfect intonation, sometimes I don't. But if you keep that breastbone vibrating while you're doing the intoning, you're good to go. Just do it in a manner that vibrates that breastbone on you. Naturally, because we're all different size, shapes, weights, densities, and have different vocal boxes, that intonation will be different for every single freaking person, right? But definitely give this a try. I'd love to hear your responses if you try this and if it how it works for you, or if you've done something similar. Okay. All right, everybody. Till next time, I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic. I'd encourage you to check out our online community. We have a lot of things we're doing over there, sharing magic wise, workshop wise, and actually newsletter wise. So I'd encourage you to check it out if you're interested. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.